Howdy folks, thank you for clicking on the video. Welcome to the channel. Glad you're here because today I want to take a quick look at the PRS MT-15. That would be the Mark Tremonti signature amp, and talk a little bit about what it is, why I chose to buy it, what I like about it, and maybe a couple of things that maybe I wish it had, wish they had done with it. But yeah, just a real quick look at it, and I'll go through some of the features and everything. So yeah, stick around. All right, before I get to anything else, let me go ahead and just humbly ask that if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please consider going ahead and doing so. Click right down there, and of course ring the bell so you get notifications. I certainly would appreciate a thumbs up. That always helps the channel. And share the video with your friends, your family, your pets, and don't lie. I know some of you have pets who have their own social media accounts, so you know, it's a thing. And of course, please comment below, let me know what you think. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the amp. As the name would suggest, it is a 15-watt all-tube amp. It's got 6 L6s for the power section, 12 AX7s for preamp tubes. As I said, it's a 2-channel amp, or did I say that? I think I did. I may not have. It's a 2-channel amp. It's got a clean channel over here. And the lead channel, that's your crunch channel. The clean channel, the only really special thing about that, other than it sounds really good, is that on the volume knob here, it's a push-pull switch. I don't know if you can hear the click there, but I'm pulling it out and pushing it back in. That's a volume boost, and not to be confused, it does say boost right underneath where it says treble. That's not to say it's a treble boost. It's not. It's just an overall volume boost. Now on the dirty channel, the lead channel as they call it, crunch, you have your gain over here and a master volume here, as well as a presence control. So that pretty much rounds out. And by the way, over here all the way on the very end, next to where you hook your guitar in, there is your switch between the two channels, which only really works if you don't have the included Footswitch attached. You know, you may not want your Footswitch attached, but there's that. Over here, of course, is your power and your standby switch. On the back, there are 3 speaker outs. There's one 16 ohm and 2 parallel 8 ohm speaker outs on the back, as well as a effects loop and an attenuation switch. Now that just simply cuts the power, the 15 watts in half to roughly 7 watts, I suppose. And there are also bias jacks and adjustments back there, but that's for people who are way smarter and more capable than I am. So let's go ahead and get to, well, let's listen to the amp. Okay, let's go ahead and start with the clean channel. So as you can see, I mean, it sounds good. It does get a little dark. I've got everything at noon right now, so you can always roll the bass back a little bit. Most notably on the clean channel would be here at the treble knob, and that's the volume boost. So, well, let's see. Give a little bass line here. So yeah, you get I would say a considerably noticeable volume boost on that. I'm here to tell you there is headroom for days on this amp. Clean channel gets a thumbs up from me. And it does work well with pedals. Some amps do sound really good with pedals, some maybe not so much. So I think this one does. So let's go ahead and move on over to the lead channel. Click the foot switch down here. Oh, well, as you can tell by the red LEDs, the amp just got angry. And it does get pretty angry. There's a lot of gain in this amp, maybe a little bit more than what I would use, but for some of you, you'd probably appreciate that. So let's just go ahead and yeah. For me, that works more for something like a... I'm just saying. But let's go ahead. Let's pull the gain up just a little bit and try that. I'm not a bigger fan of the extremely high gain stuff. I'm more of an overdrive kind of guy. Anyway, however, I think the amp sounds good. I've got a few thoughts on it though, so I'm just going to go ahead and get to those right now. Well, folks, there is absolutely no doubt that I like this amp. I like it a lot. I'm very pleased. I'm glad I made the purchase. However, there are a couple of things, 2, 3, maybe 4 things that maybe I'm not so keen on, so I wanted to go ahead and cover that. So let's go ahead and take a look. Everything pretty much has to do, I think all except for one, has to do with the controls and the way they're laid out. And well, you'll see. Let me start with the first thing. So over here you have the lead channel. You have the clean channel here. You have the lead channel here. Now you have your gain, your treble, middle, and bass for the lead channel. That's your crunch channel. And then you have the master volume for that channel here, the presence here. And then in between, you have the clean channel. Now, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It seems to me like these two knobs should be over here and not way over here. That bothers me just a little bit. Not a lot. It's not a super big thing, but it just doesn't make any sense that the master volume, which only affects the lead channel, why it's clear on the other side of the clean channel controls. So now the second thing also has to do with the knobs. It's the pots. The presence, the master, the bass, middle, and treble for the bass and middle for the clean tone. Over here on the lead channel, bass, middle, treble, gain. All these knobs, the pots feel great. There's just, to me, the right amount of friction. You don't want it to be too loose that it flops around, and you don't want it to be too tight that makes it uncomfortable to be. I think these are fine until you get to the treble control on the clean channel. And why is that different? Well, because it's a push-pull pot. And right there. This is definitely got a much different feel. It's definitely a lot looser. It's just, it almost feels cheap. I don't want to say that it is. It's just, it's definitely different from every single other knob on here. But it's a push-pull, so that's definitely going to be different. And why that bothers me has to do with the other thing. I don't care if you're talking about a guitar or an amp or anything. I would much prefer a mini toggle, say like over here for the channel switch. I would much prefer a mini toggle for the volume boost as opposed to a push-pull. I don't like push-pulls on guitars with, say, coil splits or whatever. I would much rather have a mini toggle as opposed to a push-pull. Say you have your tone dialed in exactly the way you want it. Well, you go to pull this thing out. It's so easy for it to just flip to, you know, out of the position you wanted it in. So there's that. Now the third thing also has to do with the volume boost, and that has to do with the foot switch that is included. It is a single button foot switch. It switches you between the lead and the clean. I really would have liked it so much more if there were two switches on that pedal, one for the channel and one for the volume boost. That would have been so much better. That way you didn't have to worry about how free spinning this knob actually is. You could just hit a foot switch and take care of business. But so there's that. Now that's pretty much the only thing about the controls that I would do something different with. The only other issue has to do with the carry handle. Phillip McKnight covered this in his video as well, and he's absolutely correct. This thing is just not at all very ergonomic. It's just sticking there. It doesn't fold down. It's I don't know. It just, I would do something different as far as a carry handle on this, but this is what you got. It's not a deal breaker for me. I'm just saying, this design-wise, it's not ergonomic. It's functional, but that's about it. So other than that, though, I really, really like this amp. I like the fact that it was affordable. It's in the $750 price range. I think this is definitely a good value, especially if you're like me. I still want to get, and maybe one day I will, something like an Engel Fireball 25, maybe a Rev G20, something along those lines. But those amps, they're almost twice as much as what this one cost, and I honestly don't think for the money you can beat this. Oh, and let me also, I like that it comes with this nice little soft side case. How about that? It's not going to protect your amp maybe as good as, well, definitely not as good as something like a road case or whatever, but it does offer some protection if you're going out to play gigs or to a jam or something. It's a nice little addition. I'm glad I bought the matching cab as well. Now, I think these go for about $400, which is for a 112 that's not got just some BS little no-name speaker or something, some cheap. This has a Celestion Vintage 30 in it. I like Vintage 30s a lot. They go for about $400. I got this on sale for $100 off that, so I feel pretty lucky. I'm glad I bought it too. Never really had a head with the matching cabinet before, so hey, pat myself on the back a little bit there. So everything is good. I'm glad I bought the amp. I'm really thankful to Phillip McKnight. His words, not only his video that he did, which I encourage you to watch. It's going to be linked below here in the description. But yeah, he kind of pushed me over the edge and made me decide, yeah, this is the amp I'm going to buy. And wow, I couldn't be happier with it. Maybe you should check it out. Again, I paid for all this myself. It is not a sponsored video. Nobody's telling me what to say. So that is my opinion. With that said, I just want to ask you all to do I'm going to ask you to do two things for me. First, do what the sign says. It's right there. Do what the sign says. And the second thing I want you to do, be good. Let's all just be good. Take care.